Another edition of some late night legends here on the Legendscast with myself, Ryan Medellin, and my special co-host. We got him back after he went nuts on us the first time. It's the president of the Texas Legends, Malcolm Farmer. Malcolm, good evening to you. How you doing, buddy?
I'm enjoying my dinner. I just got done at the grill. The most of the kids are at a dance competition this weekend. You got me pretty much home alone. It's going to be, no one's here to rein me in whatsoever.
I'm surprised they did not make you go to the dance competition. Now that really technically, and I know your job is never done, but this being the final couple of games for the Texas Legends, they are playing the Ontario Clippers. We should mention that. No, this is not Canada. If for anybody out there that's wondering, and myself included, when I first heard of the Ontario Clippers, it is California. They're on a California swing, which is why we are live at 9 p.m. tonight. So hopefully you can join us on whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the social media channels. We are there. But being that their final games are on the road and that your duties actively at home are quote unquote over, I'm surprised they didn't, say once your season's done, you got to go take the kids. I'll offload the kids onto you.
Well, we got an office to run. And I'm not, first of all, Ryan, I get to go to the dance competition. I get to. You're going to figure this out. You're a dad now. You're going to figure this out. It's a privilege and an honor. I get to go to the dance competition. I'm joining them there tomorrow night. But tonight, it's late night with the Legends. If you're on Facebook and you got a question for any of our guests tonight, and we got some guests tonight, we could have a little fun here. You might learn a few things. Feel free to put it in the comments, put it in the chat. And also, I want to crowd surf here. What should we call this broadcast next year? I'm a fan of Legends Late Night.
Okay. But, if it's a normal, 7:30 tip, I don't know if it's really late. We can do it for the 9 p.m.
I just think Late Night Legends Late Night. I think it's got some alliteration there. I think it'd be fun. I just think it'd be interesting to kind of get that rolling.
Yeah, Late Night Legends, you get a little L and L, right? A little L and L with R&M and M and F.
I love it.
But yeah, it's tough to believe it's wrapping up, Malcolm. And I don't know if every year it feels the same for you, where it just goes by so fast. But for me, in my second season broadcasting with the Legends, it absolutely tore by this year. And maybe that is because I have a newborn and life seems really slow at home, so everything else seems really fast outside of the home. But to me, it just feels like it flew by.
It did go by very quickly. We had a fantastic year at our home games. We're going to lead the league in attendance once again. A lot of sold-out crowds. A lot of families having fun. A lot of stories got told and will be told in the future about those fans and the fun they had, the family moments they had. And Ryan, I'm here to tell you that you may think things are moving slowly at home with a newborn. Trust me, they're going to fly by very, very quickly.
Oh, it's already.
Before you know it, they'll be 10 years old.
I think one of the first ones of these that we did, or that I did this season, he was just a couple of weeks old, and now sitting with a 4-month-old that goes to bed at 7 p.m. and doesn't wake up till 7. So I would say I like this side of it a little bit better, but it is flying by. We should mention again, Texas Legends playing the Ontario Clippers. Legends 7-23, no hopes of the playoffs. Clippers not much better, 16-15. They are above 500. Legends hoping to change that tonight. It's a 9 p.m. tip because they are in Ontario, California, not Canada. And, we're just going to hang out. Malcolm Farmer, president of the Texas Legends. We got a ton of special guests that are going to be joining us tonight. Again, we are on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Feel free to comment. We can see it in the chat, and we will do our best to answer those. No questions are off limits. Unlike normal Texas Legends broadcasts where I have to play by a certain set of rules, we are not garnered by the FCC here, just by the Constitution. So take that for what you will. Malcolm has already taken that leash that we have given him and run away with it. So
we can see the comments from Facebook. So if you post there and you got a question, we can see them. Tasha, we see it. Jesse, we see it. And if you're on other platforms, we don't necessarily see those ones. So if you can, make your way over to Legends Facebook, share it, like it, whatever. My kids know all those things. Share, like, and subscribe or something like that. Our guest tonight. Yeah. Ryan, our guest tonight, you want to give the fans a little forecast on what they're in for?
Sure. I mean, do we want to just go right out with it? Do we want to tease a
Yeah,
little
tell
bit?
them what they're sticking around here for.
Okay. Well, coming up momentarily in about 5 minutes, we're gonna have the president of the G League, Sharif Abdur Rahim, joining us. Very special guest. Going to talk about how great the Legends are for the G League and how big the G League has gotten. Because Malcolm, you and I have talked about this plenty of times, but before COVID, it was ramping up, and then after COVID, it just completely exploded. And now every single person that plays in the G League, they're just one good shot or one good game away from getting a chance to play at the NBA level. So that's super exciting. Going to talk to them about that. And then we're going to have Matt Morales joining us at 9:35. You sent these in Eastern time in the email,
I
Malcolm,
did.
which is just messing with my very tired brain. 9:35, we're going to have Matt Morales. Going to talk a little bit about Ontario. He's the GM of the Clippers, right? So,
Yep.
former
Matt
Texas
used to
Legends
work with
staffer
the
as well.
Legends. Yep, he started his basketball career with the Legends. He came in, frankly, as an intern and grew into a scout and all the way up to assistant GM. And then, I might even make him tell the story of when I told him he needed to go be a GM somewhere or he needed to be fired because he needed to go somewhere else to grow, and he's certainly done that. So some good opportunities there. And then our third guest, shortly after halftime, Matt Riccardi, Director of Pro Personnel for your Dallas Mavericks. He's got a ton of G League experience. He knows our players and the Mavericks players inside and out. We can kind of talk to him a little about Jaden Hardy, the success he had with the Legends, and how that's translating to the Mavericks, and how the Mavs see the G League, how they see the Legends, and how it all fits together from a basketball perspective. And then, Ryan, I'm a
that's not
wild
going to make people stick around. I don't know what will.
You never know who else might join. You just never know what other things might be up our sleeve. Over the course of this year, we've got Quincy AC, Satnam Singh. We've had a lot of
Satnam
folks.
was
epic.
Arguably guest of the year, even though we couldn't hear a word he was saying because of the connection problems. Still one of my favorite guests that we've had, Malcolm.
He had just finished up a wrestling match. It was great.
What a amazing pivot for that man. Standing over 7 feet tall, going from basketball to wrestling, and he is crushing it, literally and figuratively crushing it. In that world.
Both these teams that we're watching here are out of playoff contention, which, frankly, can make things really interesting because players who might not get as many minutes, who might not get as much opportunity, they get a chance to potentially show what they can do. And
Grant Riller with a dime. That's what he does.
It can really, springboard them into next season, into their summer, which we'll talk to Matt Riccardi a little bit about there with Summer League. Can springboard them in their career. And this is an opportunity. They may get minutes. They may get more shot attempts, more plays that fit their game than they normally would get. And it can really change a player's career. You think that these games are less meaningful there down the stretch, but I'll tell you what, to these players, it matters because they're playing for their jobs. They're playing to make a career. They're playing to make it to the NBA.
I want to mention Matt Rain's comment. Thanks, Matt, for joining us and providing your input. And yeah, that was a great pass by Tajay Moore. And I was about to actually say, out of all the guys that have, I don't want to use the word surprised me, but really just impressed me this season for the Legends, Tajay Moore and Grant Riller have been so much fun to watch, as with everybody. But just to see those two guys, from beginning of the season when we met with the team and talked to them before and asked them some certain things about themselves. Grant Riller was very quiet, but you could tell he was a guy that, there's a different side to this guy that we haven't seen yet. We've seen that on the floor. And Tajay Moore, I call him the Tasmanian Devil, man. He is so aggressive on the floor. He's quick. He'll put a spin move on you. So much fun to watch. But Texas is keeping it close with Ontario. But, Malcolm, one of the things Coach Gallinopoulos always says is, championships are great. Making the playoffs is great. But for these guys, it's all about what they're putting on tape. They're only as good as their last game, because when scouts go and watch and scout these players and watch film, they watch the most recent game. And if it's a bad game, they watch the next one to see, how they respond to that, right? So there's so many ebbs and flows to that process that it doesn't matter that Legends aren't staring down another playoff spot like last year. These guys at this point are in the mode of, I got to figure out a way to make a training camp roster, a summer league team and get a shot maybe to even go play some NBA ball with the season wrapping up and the playoffs dead ahead.
Absolutely. Your legends here are hitting the shots from 3 here to start and get us right there in the game. Hopefully we can keep hitting them throughout the night and
Speaking of
correlate with
hitting them,
another touchdown.
Malcolm, we got to bring in our first guest because we are now honored to be joined and welcomed by the president of the G League, Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Sharif, are you there? Can you hear us?
There he is.
Just popped up. Sharif,
Sharif,
do you read us?
if you have the button there to turn on your camera, that would be great. But if not, we totally understand that as well. No problem.
Let me figure this out. Because it's on. It's showing on.
You sound great, Sharif. President of the G League,
rush.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim, joining us momentarily. We have audio. We've established audio, which if that's all we get, we will take it to talk with him. But hopefully we'll get some video up as well as our producer, Seth Biley, works through those technical issues.
Yeah, I don't know why the video isn't showing, but.
No problem.
Well, Sharif.
No problem. We'll be seeing the game momentarily anyways. Sharif, welcome to your maiden voyage on Legendscast.
I like it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, we've been talking about basically with the Legends being out of contention and still a couple of games left that while it's, these guys want to make the playoffs, these guys want to win championships, that's not really entirely what the G League's about, right? It's about that development of players. It's about these guys putting out good tape, and it's about them getting that opportunity to move to the next level, which, Sharif, I guess the best place to start in talking with you is about over the past couple of years, really primarily since COVID and the 10-day contracts. It seems like the G League and the NBA they're so synonymous with each other now more than they've ever been. How does that feel for you with something that the G League has just strived to be, is that immediate opportunity for growth for players?
I think it's awesome. It feels like every year the talent in the G League is just exponentially better. You think it's one thing, and even last year we had so many guys getting called up, and it felt like players saw the opportunity and were seeking out the G League as a way to get to the NBA. This year, with so many great performances and teams, it's just better. I mean, even you look at Ontario and where they stand currently in the West. I mean, they won our showcase. They won the first part of our season, and now they're like, every game counts. Them playing against the Legend tonight is a big game for them. And I mean, kind of even to the point, the Legends don't have a lot to play for, but they still have an opportunity to kind of spoil it for other teams. So they're still playing for something, and guys go out there. That competitive fire and juice definitely turns on.
Sharif, tell us, you've been the G League president for what, 5-6 years now? It's flown by. Tell us.
I'm in my 5th year. I know it feels like you've been having to deal with me forever, Malcolm, but it hadn't been 6 years yet.
It's been how many? 5?
I've completed 4, so I'm in my 5th year now. I'm into my 5th year.
Don't worry, you'll be like me in a few years, and be saying, "Yeah, I'm in my 15th year with the Legends, 14th year, something." You can't count that high. Tell us what you're most proud of in those 5 years of the growth the G League has seen.
Well, I think it's just that. I think it's continuing to provide the platform for players, continuing to be a place for our fans and for our communities. I mean, the last 2.5 years, I was in Iowa last night at a Wolves game, and they made the folks there made a point to me that this was the first time in 3 or 4 years that they had a full season without interruption. Right? We fought through in the G League. We fought through some unique challenges. Everybody faced challenges, but they impacted the G League uniquely. So the fact that we're still able to, provide the platform for our players, provide a place for our communities to come together, that has been, in addition to the growth, in addition to, growing awareness and trying new things and that, but it's just that we've been able to continue to be this place for growth and development. And, I say players because that's what's, out front, but you have officials, you have coaches, you have young business people, all of that. You have what you guys do in the community, Malcolm, and, highlighting all the different community groups. So it's so much.
Sharif, want to ask you, you mentioned, that spreading awareness, and, specifically that example that comes to my mind is at the beginning of the year when Jaden Hardy, who is the Mavs' first pick in the draft, is told, hey, don't have room for you right now with the Mavericks. We're going to send you down to Texas to get some reps, get some playing time, and keep you loose and keep you limber. And I remember asking Jaden a question after his first night with the Legends playing, and he was our player of the game. I had asked him, Jaden, a lot of people would see an assignment to a G League team as some sort of diss or some sort of knock on their talent or their ability or their effort. And I thought he gave the most amazing answer that should be the G League promo, which was, I'm a hooper. I want to hoop. I'm down here to get minutes. I'm down here to stay active. This is a great spot to do it. He mentioned how great Texas was, of course. But the fact that you have a guy like that who was taken with the first pick of a team, wasn't the second round, but he was the Mavs' first pick, pumping up the G League and saying, this is a good spot to be to do exactly what I need to do. And that's work on some things, get some reps, and then move back up. And then, of course, it's all made a success because of how he's been doing with the Dallas Mavericks, basically since after only playing a couple games with Texas.
Yeah, and look, I think you have Jaden. I think the special thing with him is he spent the previous season with us with Ignite, so he was familiar with the G League and kind of grown up a little bit with us. But earlier in the season in Lakeland, you had RJ Hampton that requested a similar thing. We see that more and more. In years past when it was kind of thought of as a demotion. I think players now see it as that. It's an opportunity. And the integration between the NBA teams and the G League team, I think is kind of improved that relationship and just that proximity. I mean, again, players see how close it is. They see, in the case of the Legends, Mavs, front office and coming over to watch them play. That is just, I think, really changed the mindset of players.
Sharif, you were at our home opener, I think it was this year. So you saw one of our first games, and now you're visiting with us on one of our last. What's something you remember from the home opener? That is
you standing on the bar in the what do we call is it the Legends Club or
in the Choctaw Club there
I'm trying to get every team president to do a chalk talk and stand. It doesn't have to be a bar, but a table or something. If every G League team president would do that pregame, our league will be even better.
Well, someday, if you're familiar with the Bills Mafia, Sharif, I guess they used to break tables and stuff, jumping off of these things. Someday I want to be able to do a Bills Mafia dive off the top of the bar and shatter a table. I think that would be a really good send-off. Everyone will be fired up. There, here we go. We're going to win this thing. Yeah, that's my dream.
Enough about basketball. Sharif, when you took over as president, were you warned about Malcolm? And how many times a week are you having to deal with Malcolm? I need to know how many times he gets in trouble throughout the season, and were you warned about him before you took the job?
Malcolm's reputation definitely preceded him. But in a very special way. I think Malcolm's energy, his passion, his commitment. I think it's something that our league appreciates, respects, and when I'm working with Malcolm, I know it's about the Legends, the league being better. So it's a lot of fun. Malcolm actually is a lot of fun. Like when we get past kind of the things that he doesn't like for the Legends, but he's a lot of fun.
We just want to get better. We just want to keep growing. We want to have more fans in the building, more fans with smiles on their faces.
Well, you're getting more fans in the building, Michael. You, like by far are leading in attendance.
We take some pride in that, and look, we truly do just want the league to keep growing, and that's why, frankly, that's why we're trying something like this tonight, right? We've done this a number of times throughout the year, and we want to keep trying different things to see what can be fun and what can work. Sharif, I'm going to change topics on you. We're not going to talk G League for a second. We're not going to talk your NBA career. You come from a heck of a basketball family. Now you got, if I remember correctly, you got a sister who's playing at SMU.
Yes.
And I think you've got a brother who was in the NCAA tournament as head coach for Kennesaw State.
Yes.
Tell us how proud you must be of, the basketball successes, both as a player in your family, multiple players, but also, coach, front office, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm proud. I was going through Atlanta the other day, and Kennesaw is right outside of Atlanta. And I was picking up a rental car and gave the lady my driver's license. Looked at my driver's license. She said, "You related to the coach from Kennesaw?" So I was like, "Yeah, that's my brother." So to be at a place where whether it's my little sister at SMU, my brother that's coaching at Kennesaw, I got a daughter that's going to go to TCU and play volleyball. Like to be their brother or their parent. That's awesome, and that's a lot of fun. I'm really proud of them. All of them are good people. First, and they're really working hard and kind of making me proud. So. It's a lot of fun. It's, gives me something to kind of cheer for and pull for. My brother's doing a great job. He, took over a program that hadn't, they were like they won one game his first year. And, they won their conference this year. And, they were right there with Xavier, leading at halftime and, up most of the second half. So I'm really proud of him. And, I got a baby sister and that's a freshman in high school. I went and watched her play for the state championship a couple of weeks ago. So everybody, I'm really proud of everybody. They're doing great.
You're in a sports family. You help run a sports league. What, from a character perspective, a personal development perspective, what do you think that sports builds in a person that helps them become successful in life?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the things we deal with, Malcolm, all the things we see, triumph, difficulty, challenges, disappointment, working with people, it's life, there's no, things, I dealt with on the court, you dealt with on the court, you dealt with, coaching people, in basketball, you're dealing with coaching people as a leader for the Legends. So it really builds, these qualities that translate into how you operate, how you deal, how you manage as a person. Really, your competitiveness. It really is, all of those things. When my parents were really young, when they got us in, signed us up, we kind of did everything. We played basketball and ran track and played baseball. And the whole point of it was, to kind of stay out of trouble, to give us something to do, and hopefully we'd be good enough one day to all get scholarships because they, it's like, look, we're not gonna be able to pay. It's 13 of us. We're not gonna be able to pay for you to go to college, right? So that was the focus, and sports have been really good to us, but it's been just great character build for all of us for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot here. We're at the quarter break. Legends have forged a first quarter lead, and we're gonna keep building this lead. I'm confident tonight. Sharif.
Oh wait, Malcolm, they got a trampoline. Why do we not have a trampoline?
That's nothing, man. Like, why do they need a trampoline? Why can't they just jump? Why do they
I've
need a
never
pad?
seen you on a trampoline.
Why can't they just land on the
That's,
floor?
that's the risk there. If the Legends had a trampoline, it wouldn't be like stunt people doing the dunks. It would be Malcolm doing the
With no pad.
yeah, it'd be Malcolm jumping off the trampoline dunking.
Face plant on the floor. Everyone will love it. It'll be great.
We have
All
to
right,
produce.
Sharif, serious question.
Yes.
What's a goal you have for the G League in the coming years that you want to see happen, see come true?
Hmm. That's a heck of a question. The kind of generic question is, continue to grow, continue to, build awareness. Some of the things, I just talk about some of the things we talk about in our meetings. We want more of our teams balancing out the interest between basketball and business. We want more of our teams, driving, growing their revenue, growing their attendance and sponsorships and um, um, media deals. We want more of our teams focused there. From a league standpoint, we want to, stronger and more national presence. So, I mean, to sum that up, we want, my first goal, I think, basketball for the G League has just been so outstanding. I, I want people to start taking notice of the business and, of the G League, because I think we have some, really fantastic, businesses, a really great product that we offer. And we do a lot of great works in our communities.
Yeah, I think the basketball speaks for itself. I mean, the percentage of NBA players who've been in the G League now is what, like north of 60%. And, you got players like Jaden Hardy, you got all these guys, first round picks, second round picks. The basketball is incredible. And what I'm looking forward to is, from a G League perspective, is just seeing more and more lives off the court impacted by the platform that we have with basketball. And Sharif, obviously your life has been impacted by it. I know you helped run a nonprofit, and that platform that we all have to impact and change lives is not just the players on the court, but perhaps equally, if not more importantly, a whole arena full of fans, a whole community full of people.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Us having a team in College Park now. I grew up in College Park, right outside of Atlanta. I tell people the first Hawks game I went to was a Hawks game I played in. And if a team would have been there, and I was a Hawks fan, I was a great Dominique fan. I love Dominique. If a product or a team like the Skyhawks had been in my neighborhood, I would have just lived there. So I can only imagine, the young kids in Frisco and the surrounding areas that they can't get to a Dallas Mavericks game that they can come and be a part of the Legends community. That's all over. That was in Iowa last night when I was there. That's out in Ontario. That's everywhere. We just have a great opportunity to do that. We're so much more accessible. And I see the access. I come to Texas. I see the access that fans can have. The community can have to the team there is outstanding. You can't get that anywhere else. So I totally agree, Malcolm.
I appreciate that. Last question for you, Sharif, and I may have asked you this one before. Listen, you had a heck of a career as a player. It was true in college at Cal. You were probably an All-American. You were an NBA All-Star. You're a gold medalist. In your playing career, what's the greatest memory you have? And it doesn't even have to be a basketball accomplishment, but what's the greatest memory you have from your playing career?
The thing, I mean, like the gold medal is awesome. Like draft day is awesome. Um, like big games, like a high, I scored 50 points in a game, that sort of thing. Those things are the things I like. The things I think about, honestly, like or miss. I should say the thing I miss is just like the time, with my, like with teammates and with friends. Like those are, even, I don't necessarily miss playing in the NBA. I miss like close competitive games at times. You know, like I see a game like this that's like competitive. I like miss being a part of something like that. But more so just like the kind of camaraderie and friendship and time on bus or planes or you know, locker rooms, like that stuff, that's the stuff I probably think about the most. And you got to like a gold medal. You got to, I remember that. That was awesome. That was a great experience.
It's
Great for
ironic you
their
say that it's about relationships and it's those moments in the locker room. And it's ironic because this past Tuesday, we had one of our breakfasts with all of our partners, and Michael Finley was there as our guest. And he said that the three best teams he was on in the NBA, and two of them didn't win the championship. They weren't even necessarily advancing all that far in the playoffs, but it was best because of the relationships that he developed on those teams. And that's what he remembers the most. So it's interesting, the commonalities. Um, as athletes, it's about those relationships that you build and develop.
I mean, Malcolm, my favorite memory from the Texas Legends broadcasts are the ones I spend with you and our relationship. So,
Sure they are, right?
The thing is, you don't even, at the time, sometimes you don't even realize that, especially being a young person, you don't necessarily realize it. And then but when you look back on those things, those are the things you appreciate. And, it's a lot of fun. And, we'll look again, to your point, Ryan, these will be the really good times that you appreciate spending with Malcolm and, having us all on and, start something new. I apologize. I can't figure my camera out. I've been messing around with it.
Don't worry about
it. I think the greatest quote, though, and you mentioned it, wish you knew you were in that time, Sharif, when you were in it. It was I wish we knew we were in the good old days before we've left.
I'm telling you, I had a coach. I told my son this, like during his season, and I was like, man, you gotta just enjoy what's going on. These are the good times. And I had a coach tell me that when I was in college. He's like, man, these are the good times. Enjoy it. And I thought he was like crazy. I was like, what are you talking about? Like,
you're making me run sprints right now. What do you mean these are the good times?
We lost to a roll. Y'all yelling at us and all these things. But when I really looked at it, it was like, I was with my friends and we were having a great time, and they are. So the times more than you realize are really the really special times. So we'll look back and enjoy all of this stuff.
Sharif, I'm not sure if we can keep you any longer. We do have somebody else that's going to join that you may have some interest in chatting with. If not, you're more than welcome to go. But we do have Matt Morales now joining the broadcast, GM of the Ontario Clippers. And
Sharif, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I know you got a family there at home. We'll take care of them and spend some time with them. Thank you.
I don't want to take up all the Matt's time. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
What's going on, Sharif?
I knew you at least wanted to say hi, Sharif.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank Malcolm, Ryan, thank you for having me again. I apologize. I couldn't figure my.
Don't even worry about it. Appreciate it.
You just have to join the next one, and we'll try it again, Sharif.
The next time I join, I'll have it all figured out. But it's been
awesome. That's Sharif Abdur-Rahim, president of the G League. His fifth year, Malcolm, his fifth year.
You know me, Ryan. I like to age people quickly. Speaking of aging people quickly, Matt Morales, ladies and gentlemen, I aged Matt. Like, I don't know how many years Matt was with the Legends. He probably does. But however many years it is, it's like dog years, right? 1 human year is 7 dog years. 1 year with me is probably worth 10 regular years. So I aged Matt considerably. Matt, you can see Jim Kaiser welcoming you to the show already.
What's going on, Jim?
Matt worked with us. How many years have been gone, Matt?
Actually, I think it was whatever you said about dog years. I was there for 7, so however the math works out there.
Yeah, so you're like 70 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt came to the Legends as literally an intern with limited basketball experience. He jumped in on the business side, learned a ton, jumped in on the basketball side as a scout, analytics, assistant GM. And then, Matt, tell folks where you went from there and how you ended up with the Clippers.
Yeah, obviously gained a ton of experience with the Legends and all those roles, and just in an organization where I could really learn every aspect of what goes on in the entire operation. And was fortunate to kind of have a friend who was working for the Clippers that got a great opportunity. He kind of informed me a role opened up, and just reached out and was able to get there, and have been able to stick around, fortunately. So.
Now, Matt, you guys, the Clippers had a really good, call it first half of the season, the
Yep.
proverbial Showcase Cup. Not quite as strong record-wise in the second half. Two questions here, two parts, and I know you can remember them. What was it like to win the Showcase Cup there with the Clippers? And what do you feel like the biggest difference was in the change in your team from Showcase Cup to after the Showcase Cup?
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously it was super exciting to win it. We had a lot of momentum in the last season with the Western Conference Finals, and I think with a lot of guys that sort of carried over into this year, they built on that, and winning the showcase was great. I mean, for our group, it's exciting. Those guys get extra money, everything like that, and it's just fun to accomplish something because, as you know, being in the G League for as long as you have, as long as I have, I mean, it's hard. Like there are so many different situations that happen. There's so much luck that plays into it, and you just have to sort of weather the storm and have a lot of things go right for you. And so, just having our guys be able to have that experience and play through a tournament like that, which it's exciting, right? It's one and done, and we hit a game-winning shot to end the game with the way the target score ending is, everything like that. So it was definitely exciting. And then after obviously the showcase, you're back at it 1 week later. So it's a different experience for sure.
Matt, it seems like with the G League, right? It's already busy enough for guys like you without having three quote unquote separate seasons within the first part of the season, the Showcase Cup, and then the playoff portion of the year. It seems like it's already busy, but when technically, like you look at some of these teams, you're looking at three different teams and having to maintain a roster, guys coming in, guys coming out, NBA level, so on and so forth. What does a day in the life look like for you? I'm just curious in general.
Just have to be on your toes and roll with whatever situation occurs. I think you just can't really get comfortable, right? You have to always know something is going to change, and you don't know what that's going to be. And you can anticipate it to the best of your abilities, but you just try to be adaptable and be prepared. And obviously, the more time, at least for someone like myself who's done this for a long time, you have some level of expectation of what may happen. But yeah, it's tough. Like you said, I've always seen it as sort of three different seasons. It's the pre-showcase. I think the first phase of our regular season up till about All-Star break is sort of another one with, once you get past the NBA trade deadline is when a lot of things start to change on the G League side. So then after that is kind of your home stretch, third of the season. And so, just trying to figure out a way to sort of maintain, and you're going to have to adjust, and figuring out what that is, and hope that you can be fortunate.
Speaking of adjusting, have you, on a serious note here, Matt, did you take anything that Malcolm taught you, or do you even remember anything that Malcolm taught you, or did you just leave that in Texas when you made your move? Because who knows what that could be.
Ryan's always calling me out for different stuff, and I'm always wondering
Malcolm,
why
sir,
he does that.
this is a family program. We've talked about this.
What? I'm just saying, like, you keep calling me out about stuff, and I don't understand. I don't understand.
No, I mean, look, you want me to be completely serious? Like, I learned an unbelievable amount from Malcolm, and I certainly wouldn't have had many of the chances that I did if I wasn't able to learn from him and watch him do what he does. So it was it couldn't have been more valuable for me.
All right, so along those lines, Matt,
these are the way I get people to talk you up, Malcolm. Like, you should be thanking me.
Don't need any of that. We get a lot of folks approaching us about job opportunities. How do I get into basketball? I love the game. What would you tell a young person just graduating from college who wants to get into basketball? What would you tell them they need to be prepared for, or what they need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as what to be prepared for, I think you just have to be prepared for everything, and to literally be as committed as you possibly can. It's one of those things that if you don't love it and you don't really see the long-term picture of it and have that desire, you're going to burn out, and it's tough. It's very difficult to kind of withstand. There's a lot of getting in is difficult, but even once you're in, it's difficult to always maintain and grow because there are so few opportunities. It's so limited, this. And someone has to move up or someone has to leave or something. There's such a finite amount of jobs that you sort of just have to be prepared to weather the storm and do whatever it takes. And I think if you really love it and you're willing to do it, then you find a way to stick around. As far as getting in, I think it's I get a lot, obviously, as I think all of us do, a lot of people reach out, a lot of people, with this and that, and you get things like scouting reports, you get things like, that have to do with like, I don't know, salary cap projects, and all that's great. And you need to know like, that knowledge eventually, but, it's about having work experience, about having like any way you can volunteer, any way you can have references. I mean, the biggest thing I put into hiring entry-level people, because so many people are college managers or so many people have very similar experiences. Like, it's about the references. It's about, what the people who you've worked with can say about you and how your willingness to work and your effort and, do you bring it every day? Like what you're really about. So it's finding ways to gain experience and have people that, can speak well about how they work with you. I know you guys have a ton of, game day interns, right? That's a great way to be around and, have people notice you in an organization and see you work the jobs that are kind of the thankless jobs, right? The stuff that's just hard work because you got to do it to get in. So I think it's just that. I think it's just doing whatever you can and hopefully people speak highly of you if you do a good job.
I say this only half jokingly. I tell people I'd like to see you fold a towel.
Yeah.
And depending on how well they fold that towel, and if they can do it that way every single time, that begins to tell you something about them. And it's those tasks that are not glamorous in the least bit. And especially at the beginning, you're trying to get into basketball, you're going to be doing a lot of those things. And if you think you're above that, or if you think that this doesn't matter, I want to see the best folded towel in the world over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I think, it's interesting hearing that from y'all's perspective, because me coming from the broadcast world, right? They always tell you the best ability is availability, right? Because you just have to say yes to every opportunity, no matter what it is. And, I've called some of the craziest things that I may not even know what the sport is or what the rules are, but you better believe I'm going to spend the next couple of days when I hear something like that and learn them, because it's an opportunity to get on mic. It's an opportunity to be seen by an organization, like you said, Matt. So it's very interesting, the parallels of those two worlds.
All right, Matt, you were with the Legends for, you said 7 years?
Yeah.
I won't ask you your favorite Legends player of all time, but the most memorable one. And why?
I mean, most memorable, there's
Yes.
probably a group, but I'd probably give, our guy, Satnam Singh might be the most memorable.
It had to be Satnam.
Yeah. I don't think we can forget that. As far as like legends who were, big parts of our group and team success and everything like that, I think, Justin Dittman is a guy that sticks out as, someone who was with us, obviously, like quite a few stints, and he was very good. And, he's someone I still run into here and there and can catch up with and everything.
Yeah. It's ironic. So I'm going to reference down here in the chat there on Facebook, Jim Kaiser saying, I was talking about Bill's Mafia and jumping off the bar in the club and breaking some tables. So now Jim comes back here with the wrestling move. And Jim, this reminds me of Semi-Pro when Will Ferrell wrestles the bear.
A lot of things you do remind me of Semi-Pro, Malcolm.
Emotion. We should get Satnam back, me and Satnam in a ring. And Satnam is, this version of the bear, right? And he can whip my rear end, as he probably wanted to do many different times over the years. And now it can come to reality. I think that this would sell out the building. Halftime act, Malcolm versus Satnam in a 12-by-12 ring.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably just have to bring AEW to a Legends game now, because he's really successful in what he's doing. So
I love it.
Only if I can ring announce it, Malcolm, will I
you have to be in the room to do that.
Because you're going to have to get mopped up off the floor afterwards, like the milk that you spilt that caused a massive delay in a Legends game last year.
Jim Kaiser's all in on these ideas. He's like, please do that. Please. Yeah. Okay, Jim. You keep the ideas coming, Jim. We'll keep morphing them into something else. It's good. Matt, you got a good crowd there tonight. You got a good crowd
in the building?
Game.
I'm in the building. Yeah, I had to find a little quiet office underneath everything. I'm surprised at how quiet it is in here. But yeah, good crowd. I mean, it's last game of the season for us, so people showed out to get one last view of these guys, and you never know if they're going to see them next year, if they're going to move on to better things, and how that goes.
And correct me if I'm wrong. The last time Texas played Ontario, was that at the now crypto former Staples?
It was, yeah. In
So how does that
I
work? Tell me
believe.
about that.
Yeah, we so last year we did it for the first time actually for an emergency situation. Our building had the polar floor under the wood melted during Thanksgiving, and so we had to pivot really quickly and hold a couple games at crypto.com before NBA games. We liked how it turned out. It was very good for our NBA staff. They're already there all day. They get to check in, see our guys. The NBA players are able to kind of play a double day, and so tried to take advantage of that this year. And so there are obviously certain days the NBA team home schedule lined up with ours, and did what we could to try to move the games over there and provide that for the guys.
Very cool. Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was awesome getting to use that facility. I mean, no better place to be than that.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean it's cool to see them. They walk out on the floor and everyone's looking up. They're taking pictures with their phone, everything like that. It'd be a little nicer. We don't really have fans for those games. We don't even sell tickets, so it'd be a little nicer if they had a nice crowd at crypto. But it is cool for them to be able to play the games there for sure.
We got a great game. Speaking of going on right now, I mean, we unfortunately we've had such good conversation. We haven't talked too much about it, but this game has been neck and neck the entire time. I don't have the live stat sheet in front of me right now, but I'd imagine I've seen at least upwards of like 15, 16 lead changes. These two teams dueling back and forth. So it's been a lot of fun to watch, and it seems like a great crowd there as well, Matt.
Trying to make a little comeback here.
Matt, you see Carl David's question there. Are you at liberty to provide your scouting report there on Lacey James?
This is actually my first view of Lacey James, so I don't even have an educated opinion to provide at this
That's
point.
a great scouting opportunity then. Here we go. Here we go.
Well, I'm on the broadcast. I'm not multitasking very effectively. So,
well, Matt, we appreciate you having you on. We appreciate you taking some time away from the game. We're approaching halftime. So thank you, sir. I know you probably have some halftime responsibilities, so we will let you go.
No, I appreciate you guys, and thanks for having me on. Go Clippers.
Matt Morales, GM of the Ontario Clippers, Ontario, California. Again, Legends are not playing in Canada tonight for all of our viewers out there. But yeah, thanks again, Matt, and hope to see you soon, maybe even in Frisco.
Yeah, hopefully. We didn't get the trip this year.
We'll bank on it next year. We'll get with Sharif and make that happen next year, Malcolm. But tell you what, Legends have been staying out on top right now by 4. And
this is going to be a win tonight.
Are they going to nail this last shot, Malcolm? Are the Clippers going to hit this?
Are they going to hit this?
Call it.
No. I'm going to go with no. If this was sports,
he took it
right
deep,
now,
passes it out. Does he get it? No! Oh,
I lost the prop.
Legends can score here, though, Malcolm. Tajay off the backboard. You know what? Legends up by
Nation,
1, though.
don't go anywhere. We got halftime now. We're going to take a little break. I got to finish my dinner. But coming back in the third quarter, we got Dallas Mavericks pro personnel director Matt Riccardi. Talk a little Mavericks, talk a little Jaden Hardy, talk a little Legends, Mavericks, and who knows what else. Put your questions in the chat, and we might ask one of them. You just never know. Don't go anywhere.
Great job, Malcolm.
I'm Madison with Kia, and I'm here with Hall of Fame coach Dell Harris, and today we're going to take a look at the all-new 2023 Kia Telluride. Dell, to start out, Kia's got an all-new key that lights up when you lock and unlock the car.
All right.
It's a really great feature. The tires are also all going to be the nice off-road Zero tires. The Tiger Nose front grille is a Kia staple, and it comes on all of the 23 Tellurides.
Nice strong look. I like that.
And then the lights now, they're dual lights. That's 2 pillars instead of the rectangular amber shape. Well, now that we went over the exterior features, let's go on a drive and we'll go over all the interior stuff.
Well, let me have that key.
The great thing is there's so much headroom in here, you can easily get in and out of the car.
You know, I'm well over 6 feet, so I found it easy to get in.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Do you have a large family?
Well, yeah, except, you know, not at home. Yeah, obviously, we have 5 kids and have actually 15 grandkids.
Oh,
so
wow.
how many can you get in here?
Great news, you can definitely get a few in here. I don't know if we'll be able to get all 15, but we can definitely get 8 in here. There's lots and lots of features. The screen is completely touchscreen, or you have the option to still use some buttons. You've got the digital cluster in front of you as well. So you've got a digital gauge there to see everything very, very quickly. The car is loaded with lots of safety features. We've got blind spot detection in the mirrors. So the car's gonna beep at you. It also lights up red there in the mirror if somebody's in your blind spot. But on the digital cluster, all of the Tellurides have built-in navigation, which is a really great feature. You can type in the navigation on the screen, or you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that comes standard with every single Telluride. You can use your favorite navigation from your phone, Apple Maps, Google Maps, Waze, whatever is your favorite.
Well, that is a good menu there, and it is accessible.
The screen is curved to face the driver a little bit, so if you're alone, then you have access to all of it with no glares.
Well, it handles very easily, I will say that.
It does have a very smooth, comforting drive.
What kind of mileage are we going to get here?
We're getting on
per
average
gallon?
about 24 miles per gallon.
For a big car like this, that's really good.
Yeah, for a big SUV, that's pretty great. Well, Dell, it's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. You've done a nice job, very informative, and it's a lot to digest, but I'm very impressed with the Kia and all the things that you can do with this car.
Well, the Texas Legends up by 1.5 ahead of the Ontario Clippers in Ontario, California. Ryan Medine alongside my co-host Malcolm Carter, president. Well, it was a busy first half. Tons of guests.
All right, Ryan's having a little audio difficulties, which means
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you right now, Ryan. Otherwise, they're going to have to put up with my voice the rest of the night.
I think we're good to
I'm
go.
going to go like, who's the ESPN anchor last night who lost his voice? Is that Scott Van Pelt? By
Was
the
it
end of the
SVP?
game. Yep, that'll be me by the end of this game. I'll just be like, scratching something out here just to keep
Well,
the
I was
dialogue
saying
going.
we had such a good first half, and of course, here I am starting things off in the second half poorly with audio issues. But I was gonna say, if you'd like to welcome in our next guest, you're more than welcome to do so, Malcolm.
Well, Legends Nation, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, but if you're on Facebook, we can see your comments and your questions. And our next guest is Dallas Mavericks. I believe the title is Director of Pro Personnel, Matt Riccardi. Matt, welcome to the show. Matt is also there in Ontario. Those who were with us in the second quarter, you saw the same background when Matt Morales was on. And Matt is using the same computer. Matt Riccardi is using the same computer. And I assure you, he's not stealing the Clippers scouting reports or anything like that. So that's all been locked away. It's safe. We're all good. Matt, welcome to the show. Tell folks what the heck it is you do.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, Malcolm. Ryan, thanks for having me on. And thanks to Matt Morales for letting me steal his computer. And we just switched the mats out so it's easy on everybody to remember the names. So this is my first year with the team. I was with Brooklyn for 13 years, came over here in August to join the hometown Dallas and Dallas Mavs and Texas Legends, obviously, and just kind of helping out wherever I can. So here catching the game tonight this is our last road trip of the year. Wanted to catch the guys play and specifically check in on our guy AJ Lawson and the rest of the guys who've been developing over the course of the season.
So you mentioned AJ Lawson, one of our two-way guys. McKinley Wright is up there with the Mavericks right now. Jaden Hardy was with us on assignment quite a bit earlier in the season. How do you view the back and forth of players from the Mavericks to the Legends and vice versa, and how that transition occurs, and how do you help streamline it?
I think this year we did a great job. Coach George, our GM Al, you guys all know very well, did an amazing job of setting up the foundation and the structure of the Legends to be able to facilitate that development for those guys. Jaden Hardy had a specific plan, and he got there quicker than any of us would have thought. And that's a testament to the coaching staff, the front office, and the business staff, and into Jaden for working his butt off. But we thought maybe Jaden would spend a few months in the G League, we'd get him up to speed, and then he'd be able to help the Mavericks. And he got there a lot quicker than we expected, and I think a lot of that was because of the infrastructure that Al and Coach George and you yourself, Malcolm, have been able to put together for the crew there. And then moving forward, of course, AJ we picked up mid-season. McKinley's played some really good games for the Mavs as well. And these guys have gotten better. Coach G and his staff have really gotten these players better on the court. Tajay Moore's taken a big jump, and Grant Riller, and we had Tyler Dorsey for a little while. So it's just really nice to see these guys develop their games.
Yeah, Matt, I always like to mention Tajay and Riller really kind of stood out to me this season. But it's such an interesting – a lot of times you'll hear sometimes they have a game, and a lot of it depends on the travel schedule of the Mavericks or where they're needing roster gaps filled. But what does that look like when there's a two-way guy or a player on assignment? And feel free to hold back as much as you'd like or give as much as you'd like on this question. But, what is that process like when conversations start happening about when somebody's going to get pulled up? Is that usually like a day of, like morning of, wake up, hey, we got to get somebody here? Or is it more of like you mentioned, Hardy had a plan? What's kind of the different sides of that coin?
Sure thing, Ryan. So we as an organization try to be as forward planning as we can. We know things pop up, guys get injured in games, things happen, plans change, but we will try to lay out 2-3 week blocks of this is what it looks like. This is when you're playing. This is how we can get you some minutes. This is what we see for your development. Then we're going to scale you back a little bit. You'll be back with Dallas. You'll go through these things. So it's a conscientious decision that's made by a whole group, from Nico Harrison to Jason Kidd to Casey Smith, our head of performance there in Dallas, and of course everyone on the G League end as well. So it's something that gets talked about. Excuse me. And then gets decided upon, and we try to stick to it as best we can for the players' sake, but we know things pop up and everyone's got to be as fluid as possible.
Speaking of things popping up, Jaden Hardy's really popped up here recently. He's done a great job with the Mavs. You kind of already alluded to it. His development certainly has moved quicker than maybe anybody forecasted except for him. How would you, without getting into specific names per se, what would you say with these guys on the court tonight? What are their next steps with respect to, be it summer league? Like, how do you see, if they're going to be successful, their next phase of their development?
Yeah, I think you hit on it. Summer league is going to be big. Maybe before summer league is free agent mini camps. So these guys will get invited to technically audition for other teams. So let's say one of these guys has a great game tonight, and the Clippers staff here takes a liking to him and says, we got to get that guy in our gym this summer. So they'll call his agent, they'll get him in the gym for a free agent workout, and maybe they'll go from there and say, okay, let's bring him to summer league. Let's see what he's got with our group. The summer development for these guys is the next step, and how that all plays out between mini camps, agent workouts, summer league. Some of them will go play in Puerto Rico for a few months, or Canada for a few months, and get better and work on different skills in that aspect in a different setting. So just constantly trying to move the needle forward and get these guys better, and we're there to facilitate and help as best we can, and to make those calls to other teams and kind of help get these guys opportunities.
Matt, oh, sorry, go ahead, Mal.
I was just going to say, Matt, you've been involved in the G League for a lot of years. What's the success story? It doesn't have to be with the Legends per se. It might be with our time with the Nets. What's the biggest success story that you've seen come to fruition, and it really spoke to that player and also benefited that parent club? And I'm going to say, you can't say Jaden Hardy to just eliminate that from any bias. Okay, you can't say Jaden Hardy.
You know what? I'll give you another one that's interesting, Malcolm. That's right in your backyard, and everyone on this call. Quincy Acey, who played a few years in the league and then was out for a little while and went through the G League. And at that time, I was working for Brooklyn. He was called up to the Brooklyn Nets, and for 2 years, I mean, he helped that team rebuild, helped that team build a culture, and in the second year, helped that team make a playoffs with a bunch of young guys, and he had a great leadership role. And he, gained those abilities and those things when he was in the G League with the Texas Legends, and then eventually to come full circle. And now he's helping out on staff with the Legends since he has since retired. So he's an amazing success story. I think a lot of the ones, Malcolm, to me, these players, if they're really good, they're going to get there. And we're just there to kind of put guide rails on it and try to help them, guide them through the process. I think what the G League has done an amazing job of over the last probably 5 or 6 years is the staff development. There's no other way for a general manager to experience the types of decisions a general manager is going to have to make unless they're the NBA GM or the G League GM. Everything else in between, even high-ranking positions on the front office side for the parent club, don't get those opportunities to hire and fire staff, to make sure the medical team and the coaching staff are on the same page, to talk to agents, to players, to coaches, try to keep everyone together on a daily basis. So I think the staff development is the part that gets overlooked, quite honestly, with the G League, but that's the part that's had the greatest success recently.
Really unique perspective there on the staff side of it. And we actually had Quincy on a previous Legends cast, and he literally alluded to what you just said, how he wasn't ready to really be an NBA player. You know, he didn't get the opportunity, and he wasn't ready from a mindset standpoint until he went to the G League and kind of got, if you want to say got humbled or learned some of the things he needed to work on. But he came back to the NBA much more prepared to make an impact. And that's just interesting that you say the same thing, having not ever, seen that Legends cast to begin with.
I think that for me, the most interesting part was your perspective, like, and how when we talk about the success of the G League, because what I wanted to ask you is, like, the G League, D League before that has been around, and for so long they wanted to be that seamless integration from minor leagues to the NBA big clubs because those rosters are so much smaller than most of your typical sports like the NFL or NHL or baseball. What do you think outside of the staff? COVID played a part of this because NBA teams were needing guys quickly, but I like to use the term these guys are one good tape showing away from getting a chance at the NBA level. How did, in your mind, that happen so seamlessly over the past couple of years of just being right there with the NBA big club and the G League?
Ryan, I'm going to take this back to the staff. I know this sounds crazy, but I think because teams and parent clubs and organizations have invested in the G League and in the G League staff themselves, that they said, hey, if we're going to put I hate to put monetary value on it, but whatever your first round picks contract is, right? There's so many of them that are playing and developing the G League. Let's say it's $10 million over 4 years. We're going to invest that in this player. We can't not have the proper staff and the proper resources. And that goes from nutrition to their strength and development program. When the parent club puts a player on assignment, they want to make sure they're getting everything that they would normally get with the parent club. So I think what you're seeing is the seamless integration as more owners and more staffs have really bought into this is what makes the G League so special. And I think it's just taken that next step, and it will continue to just grow in that way.
And do you think, just following up on that, I got one more follow-up on that real quick, Malcolm. So I remember it was last year, Moses Brown and Josh Green were on assignment playing with the Legends one weekend, and it just so happened to be a weekend that the entire Mavs roster showed up to the game. My wife was actually sitting on the floor, and she didn't understand why everybody was trying to take a picture right next to her. And I said, you're standing or sitting next to a golden child right now in Luka Doncic. But what are the NBA guys that aren't going to be playing in the G League, like the Lukas or the Tim Hardaway Juniors? Do they enjoy that and supporting their G League team? Is that something is that conversational in the locker room from what you know of?
Absolutely. And I think Malcolm does an amazing job making it so friendly for those guys to come. Does an amazing job with the fans, but also those players feel comfortable. Tim Hardaway was at a game 2 weeks ago and sat with us and supported the guys. Jaden Hardy has come back and watched a ton of games. Obviously, he feels, the emotional connection from being part of the program and going through that maturation process there. But yeah, it's something we have to take all the benefits we can of being 30 minutes up the road, right? That's not everyone has that privilege. And these guys went through training camp with a lot of these Texas Legends players. And they obviously know the two ways well from being around them. So any chance they get on an off night to come support, they've really come out there and try to give them some words of wisdom.
Awesome.
All right, so we're going to get to a question here in the chat. Jim Kaiser, who's a season ticket member. Jim, appreciate you watching tonight. Matt, and look, don't give away any state secrets here, but your thoughts on Grant Riller? Is he a prospect for Mavs Summer League and that kind of thing?
Jim, I think Grant's had a great season with us. I saw him play a lot last year in Delaware. He was on a two-way in Philly, and so he's been around the NBA and right there, and I think he's incredibly talented, has a super quick first step, can get by anybody at any level of basketball, and just has a knack for scoring and really good touch. And I think the coaching staff for the Legends has done a really good job opening up his game this year and allowing him to show all the different attributes that he does have and get playing faster, which helps him and things like that. So he's right there. There's a lot of guys on this roster that are right there, and it just takes the right NBA opportunity and the right team and the right opening and the right time. so much of making it in the NBA is circumstances and situations, and Grant's been doing everything he can to give himself those opportunities.
Matt, I know you need to get back to the game. You traveled out there to see those guys. So our final question for you here. Look, with the Legends, we try to create a mini NBA environment, right? We try to have a good crowd. We try to have entertainment going on. Do you think that it's important for players to feel that energy of being in a building, or is playing in a practice facility, do you think, does it replicate well enough the game environment?
You know, Malcolm, I'm not just saying this because I'm on this Zoom with you and because now I'm part of it, you know, on the outskirts looking in. But every G League, I scouted the G League a lot. I obviously worked for the Long Island Nets for 6 years, and we would come play. The Legends by far always had the best atmosphere, the best environment. I loved how things were built for the kids and things were, you know, there's always something going on. Everyone was able to have a good time at those games, and it's continued on. And I think our players talk about it all the time, even visiting team players, like, wow, this place is incredible. You know, we get 200 people at our games and come to a Texas Legends game, and this thing is packed and it's loud and people are having a wonderful time. And you know, testament to you and to your staff for making it that way, because I think it's the best in the league and it's not even close.
You're kind to say that, but it is truly a total team effort, and it's great to hear the players. I mean, look, I think a lot of our fans, I don't think anyone takes it for granted, like the autographs after the game, but that's so impactful. And, you know, like, look, sometimes it's a tough loss, and our players, our staff, to have the perspective that, you know what, like, there's a lot of people going through a lot worse things in life, and we should be good, you know, call it role models, good citizens, just good members of the community, regardless of that. It's not it's not me, it's not the front office staff, it's truly the entire organization. So appreciate you saying that. We're gonna let you go so you can get back to getting with the guys and being around the team. So thank you, Matt. We appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for everyone on this on the call. Go Legends. Let's get this win out here.
Yeah, keep bringing us those good players. Like I say to them, though, I'm glad we're talking to you, but I hope I never talk to you again for your sake, because that means they're doing big things in the NBA, and you're a big part of that. So, Matt, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you guys. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Well, there you go.
Ryan, what's the score? Do you know? Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Down by 3.
Down by 3, but last I checked, Justin Jackson had 27 points. Let's see where he's at now.
He's knocking those threes down.
Yeah, he's got 27 points. He's 5 of 9 from distance, Malcolm. Not a bad night so far.
Not a bad night at all. Not a bad night at all.
Any more surprises up your sleeve?
Not as of right now, but you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, you know, we could go to the chat here and see if anyone wants to request any guests.
I thought the Riller question was a great question, by the way, Jim, if you're still with us, because you do have to wonder, you know, I haven't heard a lot, but surely there's going to be an opportunity out there for him. He was the second leading scorer for a very good amount of time until he got injured, and then, you know, was out for a couple of games, and his averages kind of got superseded, but it's just been a fantastic year for Grant Riller. So I'm glad that was asked, and it was nice to hear Matt's perspective on that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, it kind of points out, we were talking at the beginning of the game, how these games when maybe playoff seeding and all that isn't at stake, it opens up opportunity for players. And I mean, shoot, you got Matt Morales, he's literally told us that, yeah, this is a great opportunity to scout some guys who I haven't seen before. And shoot, someone plays well, they could get invited to a free agent mini camp coming up here in the summer, and then flowing right into summer league. You know, it's a unique situation here where guys are making an impact that could literally change their careers midstream.
Watching got caught myself watching a little actual basketball there, not having to call it, but it was kind of nice, just relaxing.
It's good. It's good. You know, it's also been interesting. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was gonna say you could totally narrate some basketball if you want to, Malcolm. Feel free.
I'm not trying to be the play-by-play guy. Amari Hardy being on this team all year, he's been great. And obviously he's Jaden Hardy's older brother. I think that it's certainly a unique opportunity for two brothers to play with each other. It's a unique opportunity for two brothers to be in the same organization. And I look, Amari's been a tremendous part of our community events, a tremendous player on the court, and he works his butt off. He keeps working to get better.
You mentioned earlier that there's a lot of guys in moments like this when you're not playing for a playoff spot that have opportunities to put and log good minutes. Omari Hardy was definitely one of those in the middle of the third part of the season where Legends were shooting up 7-8 guys a game because they had injury problems. Omari Hardy started starting some games, and he's had some huge nights, including a couple of career nights as well. So it's nice to see him. It's got to be a tough situation. I always feel like for him too, because your younger brother gets drafted. You haven't spent NBA minutes in your career yet, so like for him to be able to start carving his own path and keep the Hardy party going, as I like to say on the broadcast, is super fantastic.
I can appreciate the sentiment there, Ryan, of your younger brother gets drafted and all that, but Amari's had a great perspective on things. He's got a great attitude about it, and he's a guy who really has his heart in the right place, I think, and his feet on the ground, and knowing what he needs to do, and having a plan of how he's going to attack things. So it's been really, really cool to see him keep getting better, and his brother, not only playing with him for a stretch, but his brother coming out on every off day opportunity the Mavericks had. He'd come out to watch the game, sit courtside, frequently with his dad, and and Jade would be taking pictures, signing autographs after the game. I remember just recently there was a video of a kid during the autograph session. Jaden went right out there and started signing autographs with the players, and that's the culture. That's the fan first community element that the Legends have. We've really worked to build.
That was a great video, by the way.
Not on the roster has been part of that.
Yeah, that video that you referenced, Malcolm, had the kid was asking if he could have the shoes that Jaden was wearing, and Jaden had the classic response of, "Well, then what the heck am I supposed to wear out of here?"
The kid should have responded with, "Well, I'll give you my shoes. You can, do whatever you want with them."
Right? See how those fit. We are going to take a break heading into the fourth quarter. It will be our only really unscheduled break of the night that we're going to take. We took the halftime break, which is normally scheduled, and then we've just talked all night, Malcolm. It's just flown by like the season has. We've had some great guests, and we might actually have a pretty decent ball game to finish things out here in the fourth quarter once we get there.
Hopefully we can close this quarter strong and have the deficit in single digits going into the fourth. That will help our cause right there. That will help our cause.
Speaking of cause, what do the Legends have going on this summer? Tell me about whether it's camps, plans for
Ryan,
community outreach.
Let's save that for the fourth quarter.
Okay. You want to give us a tease in the last 30 seconds while we head to break?
What was that?
You want to tease it as we head to the final 25 seconds?
No, I just like that we're only down by 6 now. It's we've cut into that margin really good. Jim, I appreciate your comment there about guys deep on the bench at the beginning of the season. They come alive as they get the opportunity, and the Cinderella story. I think that's one of the really cool things about the G League is that Cinderella story of a player who literally is finding an opportunity and making the most of it, and they can go from nothing. You think about Jonathan Simmons, a guy who went to tryouts for the Spurs and becomes a rotation player at the NBA level. A lot of times in life, it's about opportunity and showing up. And you keep bringing it and get that opportunity. You never know where it's going to take you.
Yeah, I mean, we've shared the sentiment a couple of times tonight, but it's really, you mentioned the opportunity for these guys just to put out one, good film session, right? Like play one good game, put it on tape, and that makes your name known across NBA organizations, and then you can see the eyeballs visibly on you as you try and progress. Speaking of eyeballs visibly on us, we're going to take a break from that for just a hot second and take a little short breather for the fourth quarter. I'm going to go get some more water. Malcolm, get whatever it is you're drinking. We'll get some refills, and we will be back for the fourth and final quarter of the penultimate Texas Legends game this season. Oh, it's sad.
So,
Well, back with some late night Legends action. Ryan Medellin, Malcolm Farmer, president of the Texas Legends, myself, one of the trio of broadcasters, get the honor to bring you all the action when the Texas Legends play at home at the Comerica Center, which is not where they are tonight, Malcolm, and they will not be until next season, roughly November of 2023. For now, they are in Ontario, California, not Canada. The matchup against the Clippers is Caleb Ledoux getting a little feisty.
things getting a little spicy here in the fourth quarter of the second to last game of the season.
Tyler Hall playing moderator, trying to cool everyone's jets, and Justin Jackson just looking around like, I don't want trouble. Y'all keep me out of that. I got 30 points now. Or he had 27 last I checked. Let's see where he's at right now. I got to reload my stats. 27. He's still stuck at 27. 27 minutes, 27 points. How about that for continuity?
He's rolling. He's rolling.
A lot of jump balls in this game. I've kind of noticed that. I think this is maybe the third or fourth. It seems like I've looked down a couple of times when I remember there's an actual game happening outside of our wonderful conversations we've been having, and they've been doing jump balls.
It's going to be a interesting year, final stretch of the game. Ryan, before the break there, you were asking me about off season and what the Legends do. Really, there's not much of an off season for us. There may be somewhat of an off season with respect to home games, and then obviously we won't have another home game once the season's over until next November, which is frankly a lot closer than people realize. We have different events year round, entertainment events year round for partners and season ticket members. We'll be doing our different business development networking events for our partners, 3 to 4 events per month. It's interesting. We were actually counting them up recently, and last calendar year, we had more than 125 events for our season ticket members. And I was like, man, that boils down to what, like one event every 3 days. I'm like, that's really, we take some pride in that. Like, that's a heck of a value that season ticket members see as a result, and ranging from stuff year round, right? And then on top of all that, we'll have our summer camps. I think we have 8 summer camps planned this summer. That'll be rocking and rolling. We sold out of summer camps last summer. We anticipate doing the same thing again this summer. And before you know it, as we were just talking about a little bit ago with Matt Riccardi and Matt Morales about the evolution there, the process of putting together a roster and how these guys go from opportunity to opportunity. Before you know it, it'll be Mavericks training camp, and a bunch of Legends players will be at training camp trying to make the team. And if they don't make it, they're one of those last cuts on the cusp of making the NBA. They can rejoin the Legends, or a new player can join the Legends and rock and roll from there.
It's a chaotic, like you said, there's not really an off season. It's chaos all the time when the G League, whether you're on the business side, fan entertainment side, basketball side. I don't think anybody really gets much sleep, Malcolm, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems like no one really gets the opportunity to take a deep breath.
Kirby Puckett once said you can sleep when you're dead. But we get plenty of sleep. You don't need that much in life, and we just want to have a good time and make sure that our everyone gets the opportunity to enjoy the Legends games, enjoy the networking that we've built, the events that we've built, the entertainment that we've built, and we want everyone to be able to have those experiences and share them with others.
Malcolm, I think I have a good idea for us to maybe pull off and pranking Coach Gallinopoulos.
Oh, we're talking about pranking Coach Gallinopoulos now. That's where we're at in this broadcast. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to hear what comes next.
With the Texas Legends holding open tryouts, we should put me in some makeup and send me out on the floor and just somehow get audio of the reaction the coaches have to me trying to ball with some of the guys that'll be out there.
We can certainly do that, Ryan. I don't think this is we can pull this off. Did you see the I think it was Eli Manning? He posed as a walk-on quarterback at Penn State, I think it was.
Yeah, what was his name?
I'll let you Google that one up. We should get like a JJ Barea or something and try and pull the same kind of thing off.
Chad Powers.
That would be it. Chad Powers, yes.
Mine would be opposite though. He was way better. I would be way worse.
Understood. I was just, I was not going there saying you'd be any good.
Right.
But yeah. Just to be clear.
So maybe we can tell Coach G that we're miking him up for just some material on social media, and then have me go out on the floor when he's got a hot mic and just see what he has to say.
We'd have to get him in a moment of, unvarnished truth about Ryan Medine, the tryout candidate.
I could do like a Jackie Moon hair, short shorts, the whole get up. I'll do it.
I love it.
We should have you dressed as Jackie Moon one night, though. That should definitely happen. This is where we think tank in the fourth quarter.
Is that what we're doing? Yeah. I'm not opposed to that. I think there's some potential to this. We talked earlier about a wrestling match between me and Satnam Singh.
That's where you
former
do it.
Legends player, current AEW wrestler. That would be that would be the night to do it, I think.
I'm just gonna start sending you my ideas late at night when I wake up at 3 a.m. I have
You
a
know,
brilliant
look, we're
idea.
gonna get off topic here. So we've done the dunk tank at games.
Oh yes,
I was meeting with
staple.
somebody yesterday. They showed me a dunk tank that sets the participant on fire. There's a video on YouTube. You wear a flame retardant suit, and I'm telling you, I was just like, this has so much potential. I mean, center court, fire starting dunk tank.
That would be. I would like to see that, but it would also be very dangerous. I don't
You're
trust
wearing a flame
anything that.
retardant suit. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's been tested. I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure it's been tested. Anyways, there are videos out there of this dunk tank that does this.
they're reviewing a play. That's what you're seeing on the screen there. This was something that started in the G League, Malcolm, and
Yeah.
the G League is a tester league for the NBA and has now made its way up to the parent clubs.
Yeah, I'd say the mixed reviews.
That's your corny joke. I get it.
I don't know, man. I understand the corny joke part, but reviews, in the G League sometimes there's not as many camera angles as there is in the NBA, and so it can be a little bit like, well, we can't really see exactly what we need to see, so we just stay with the call that we just made because we can't confirm it one way or the other.
Speaking
Jim,
of
I think
rules,
it's hilarious that you're volunteering Blake to do the fire starting dunk tank. I will let Blake know that's how you feel about him, and that's that's where your mind went first thing. Okay. Oh man, what are we reviewing? Does anybody know what we're reviewing?
looks like something to do with the Legends, based on that last shot I just saw. There's the Legends coaching staff.
They're working to get this win.
They're deep in conversation right now.
They're gonna get this win. We're gonna find a way to grind this one out. This is where I don't like the reviews. Okay, like
When we're doing a Legends
it
cast.
takes forever, and I'm telling you, the odds of them having an angle to see what they need to see are slim.
Well, apparently they have finally seen what they need to see, but now they have to discuss it again, right? They discuss it at the table, then they discuss it again.
I'd like for this part to be mic'd up. I think that like what they're saying here, we should all get to hear. So Ryan, you just said they've seen what they need to see. I would again, I don't know what they're discussing. We're not even entirely sure what's being reviewed here, but I would venture to guess that what they're saying is we can't see what we need to see. We're not sure. So, and I'm not blaming the officials. It's just, basketball is a fast-paced game, and calls get made.
Looks like they're seeing who it went out on,
Which
on
is
that
another
last.
pet peeve of mine. You're going to get me on my soapbox. I mean, like, sometimes the person who touches the ball last is, like, it's because their finger bent back as somebody else was hitting it out of bounds. I almost feel like the rule should be, like, who caused the ball to go out of bounds as opposed to whose fingernail touched it last. Whose finger is longer?
That's interesting. So, I like that.
You can't do that. I mean, it makes it too complicated, right? You're trying to judge intent now.
Right, yeah.
You can't do it. But nowadays with replay getting so specific, was it the Virginia-Texas Tech National Championship game? I think if you go back late in the second half on that one, it like literally the championship was in part decided by who touched the ball last, as the Virginia player hits it out of bounds, but the Tech player's finger was on the ball last. It's and nowadays with camera angles and high def, you're seeing things that you might not have seen even 5 years ago with the accuracy.
One of the things I want to try, and I saw this the other day, is if you have one of those VR headsets, there's some sort of option that you can connect to where you are sitting courtside at an NBA game. And I'm sure it costs money, probably not as expensive as sitting courtside at an NBA game in real life. I think that would be fascinating. The first time I ever sat courtside, Malcolm, was before I was even broadcasting for the Legends, and it was my first Legends game ever. And fellow broadcaster partner of mine, Jared Sandler, just so happened to have an extra pair. And that was the first time I ever saw the Legends, and it was amazing. I've never sat on the floor before, and that's an opportunity you can have if you go to a Legends game. It's not as expensive as if you were going to an NBA arena.
Yeah, you can't truly appreciate the size, the speed, the athleticism of the players until you are up close and personal.
So that's saying that he was forced to sit in the back when he went to a game. That's Seth Biley, our producer this evening, making all the calls and shots back. I'm guessing he's either in the truck or at his house. I know he knows how to operate this broadcast from his house. But it sounds like he's at home tonight because it is a late night Legends, 10:45 p.m. Malcolm, do you have a big day tomorrow? You got to be up early? What's your?
Yeah, I kind of wake up early every day. So,
what time do you fire out of
bed? Most days at 5:30.
Oh, all right.
Ryan, you got the newborn though, so you never really go to sleep.
I'll tell you what, we, knock on wood, are in a sweet spot. He goes down at 7, wakes up at 7. Done that for about a month now.
It's pretty good. Enjoy it.
Credit to the wife for that one. So, yes, we will enjoy it while we can. Look at that. 3 ball.
Good effort there on the boards. You call for something here, but good effort on the boards.
Tajay Moore, Tyler Hall, Grant Riller on your screen. Legends down. Not yet in triple digits. That'll be happening soon, I hope. It kind of frustrates me, Malcolm, how small the Clippers logo is at the center of the court. And maybe we're just spoiled in Texas with the massive Legends logo in the state of Texas. It just looks really teeny to me from here.
I'm not. The Legends logo is only a couple feet bigger, if I'm being.
Maybe it's the angle.
It's probably the large state of Texas that's around it.
I consider that part of the logo.
Well, that's much bigger.
That's what I mean, yes.
Much bigger.
Yes. Now, if a player hits a shot from there, I'm not going to say he hit it from the logo. I'll say he hit it from West Texas or East Texas or South Texas.
Well, Ryan, this has been fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of these in the future. As the game winds down here, let's transition to the regular broadcasts and let our fans take it home as the Legends begin what is going to be a 10-point comeback in the last 6 minutes and 23 seconds to win the second to last game of the season. It's been a pleasure. It's been a joy. It's been an honor.
Oh, the honor is on all the side of the table, Malcolm. Thank you so much. Malcolm Farmer, president of the Texas Legends. Ryan Medellin. You can hear me sometimes on the broadcast when the Legends play at home. Everybody out there watching, enjoy the rest of the game. We hope to see all of you at Comerica Center in the near future.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Go Legends. We appreciate you. Talk to you later.
And we are back in the Toyota Arena as your Ontario Clippers take on the visiting Texas Legends with 6 minutes and 23 seconds to go. Clippers up by 10 as they lead a score of 109 to 99. The Clippers, your mission now is just finish this quarter out strong, and you want to do everything you can to get this win. It is loud in here. It is exciting in here. It's like I said, it is hard to hear the officials' whistles in this contest, but that's what you want. This is what you call a home court advantage. Look at all those fans. KC is getting the fans excited out here in the Inland Empire. Gotta love seeing that. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go. The Clippers, you want to just play solid defense. If they score, they score. But you want to play solid defense. There you want cut off the pass. But that's what you don't want to have. Great backdoor as Lawson. That's moving without the basketball. That is textbook basketball, folks. You continue to move without the basketball because it's difficult to defend a team for 24 seconds straight. And you can see right there, the Legends shows you that fact. Diabate down low, great defense, great ball rotation as Fitz gets it downtown Ontario, and you can see the Clippers had a response. Nice play right there, nice ball rotation. Riller, like I said, every single time this Legend team needs a basket, give the ball to Riller, he gets to the cup. He does not let you down, and that right there, that's just an unforced error for the Clippers, unable to bring that basketball in. That's a good-looking shot right there. The Clippers are fortunate the Legends were not able to get that to go down. 5 minutes, 11 seconds to go. You got 16 seconds on the shot clock, so you got plenty of time. And now you get to the point, if you're the Clippers, you want to limit the offensive possession, and you want to go deep into that shot clock. Nice play right there by Wallace. Just couldn't get that one to go down. He's cooking. That's a heat check right there. He was looking to see if he could get that to go down. Did not go down. And now with just under 5 minutes to go, if you're the Clippers, you want to get a solid defensive possession. Nice play right there. Get to the cup, kiss it off the glass as Lawson gets that to go down. That is a nice play right there for that young man. You got 19 seconds on the shot clock, 4.5 on the game clock. If you're the Clippers, I think that last possession was a little rushed. What you want to do is get two or three passes in, make sure you get touches from your teammates, get the ball to Diabate. Great rotation. This is an offensive set you want to get as Fitz gets to the cup, kissed it off the glass. That's what you want to see. That's what a good offensive possession looks like. You make 3 or 4 passes, and then Fitz gets right to the heart of the defense and kisses it off the glass. Nice rotation. That is a sharp pass. That is a nice play right there as the ball finds its way over to Lawson. That's nice. That is great execution and rotating the basketball. When you snap the ball cross court like that, it's difficult for the defense to get back in position. That is an absolute nice play with just under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Xavier Moon gets it back over to Wallace. Wallace thought about the three, regathers himself, gets it back to Moon. Moon right in rhythm, right in space. Downtown Ontario. That's a nice shot. Those are the offensive plays you want to see if you're the Clippers. You want to penetrate on the defense, kick it out to the shooter, and get the results you need. That is a nice play. You can see right there. We'll be right back as the Clippers are up 117-108. Bottoms. And the Clippers now, great ball rotation. Oh, I'm sorry about that. And we're back with 3 minutes, 22 seconds to go. Clippers up 117-108. And now if you're the Clippers, as I said, you want to use as much clock as possible because you're up 117 to 108. No sense in rushing. You want to get solid shots. You want to get good shots, and that's a good shot right there. Right at the elbow. Xavier Moon, don't hurt nobody. He is so good when he gets to that elbow. That is just his shot. 24 points, and that's like I said. You want to have 2 or 3 Clippers at 25 points. Xavier Moon's right there with 24. That's a good shot. Couldn't get that to go down. That's a nice rebound. Xavier Moon head up, ready to push the action. And you can see Xavier Moon now, when you take a look at it, he's got 8 rebounds. That's a nice shot right there. Couldn't get that one to go down. So Xavier Moon, he's working on a triple-double himself as well with 8 rebounds, 12 assists, and 24 points. And Reeler, again, Reeler's the guy. When this Legend team needs a bucket, that's the guy you want to give the ball to because he can absolutely deliver. He is a solid basketball player as the Clippers are now up a score of 119 to 110, a 9-point lead with just over 2 minutes to go. Rotates the ball, gets it over to Williams. Nice play to get to the cup. That's a nice solid play. Get to the cup, get the and one. You gotta like the way that shot looks. And you can see right there, Williams knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had reservations for 2 as he gets to the cup and kissed that off the glass. That is a nice play right there for that young man. Gotta like the way that play looked. And now you're going up for the traditional 3-point play, and Williams gets that to go down. That's a nice shot for Williams. Williams now has 8 points on the contest, or 9 points on the contest as more. That's just too easy. Great ball rotation right in space. And nice Salama Jamma putback throwback by Lawson. That was a nice play. Right place, right time. Clippers up by 10 with just under 2 minutes to go. And like I said, this is what you want to do. If you're the Legend, not only now you're playing against the Clippers, you're also playing against the clock as well. So you gotta try to force the ball out of their hand. Xavier Moon, 3 ball, couldn't get that one to go down, but that's a nice shot for that young man. And now if you're the Clippers, now what you want to do is Reeler gets to the cup, gets the foul, gets the and one. That's a nice play right there. As I said, all game long, this young man, Reeler, every single time his team needs a point, it seems like he can get right to the cup. 26 points for that young man. Solid player for this team. Reeler at the line, 1 shot for the traditional 3-point play, gets that to go down. And now he's got 27 points. So he's having a solid contest as well with just over a minute to go here in the 4th quarter. One minute, 14 seconds to go. Fitz will inbound the ball. 14 seconds on the shot clock. So if you're the Clippers right now, you can get a shot off. You don't have to. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't get a shot off. Xavier Moon gets to the cup, goes down, falls on the ground, gets up, gets it off the glass. That is just a nice, pretty play right there. And that's a good shot right there. That's a good shot for Hall as Hall gets that to go down. You have 55.6 seconds to go. If you're the Clippers, you just hold the basketball. There's no reason to come up. You could of course, you want to get a shot. You want to get a shot off, but you're in no rush at all. You take you take all 24 seconds unless you do that. And get the, and you can see right there, the Clippers are asking for the, the Legend are asking for the continuation, and it looked like they're going to get it. Foul called on the play. And you can see right there going up to the cup. You can see Jackson get up to the cup and on the play. What a swat right there by Diabate. They're going to count the basket. And this game is not over, folks. It's 121 to 120. It's only a 3-point game. That is a 1-possession game. So you're the Clippers. You want to score here. and you want to try to get, because you want to make this a 2-possession game with 32 seconds to go. Of course, you want to go all the way to the end. And Wallace gets to the cup, slammer jammer. Oh my goodness! Boy, did he put an exclamation point on that. Don't hurt nobody. Keaton Wallace. Oh my goodness. That young man, look at that right there. Clear out, slapper jammer. He went in with bad intentions, folks. He put the exclamation point on that. He said, you better look out below. I'm going in for 2. That is a nice play right there. That is an exclamation point on the season. Oh my goodness, was that a big play right there? It's Keaton Wallace. He jumped from the trampoline. Oh my goodness, that was a beautiful play. I would be remiss if I didn't give some shout outs to our crew. The last game of the season, our replay guy, Alice Cakes, graphics, Josh Rose, camera, George Lambros. We have Daniel Boatwright, and then our guy, Brian Grosskreutz. So I want to say thank you to them and all the rest of our crew that made it possible, this broadcast possible throughout the season. What a wonderful year, 24 home games. Can you believe this will be the final home game of the season? What a ride it's been. I've been here since the beginning, and I've loved every single moment of it. So it's Legends basketball, and if you're the Clippers, you want to keep them from going fast. If you can get a stop now, even the better. That's a nice shot right there, right in space, as Hall got a good shot, and now the Clippers up by 2. You got 19 seconds to go. Timeout by the Clippers. This is still a ball game. This is still a contest, folks. You got 19 seconds on the game clock, so of course this shot clock will be out. So if you're the Clippers, you just have to get the ball in, but you know the Legends are going to foul, and they'll turn this into a free throw shooting contest. So if you're the Clippers, you got to make sure you get the ball in the hands of your best shooters. But I'll tell you, this is an exciting game all the way down to the final game of the season. As I mentioned, such an exciting year. Loved every single moment of it. All the players that have come through these, come here and played here. Just a great, exciting thing. You got to think of guys like Brandon Boston Jr., Preston, Wallace Diabate, Moon, Fitz. I mean, so many great players on your Ontario Clippers roster this season. What a year it has been, highlighted by that win in Las Vegas as they won the Winter Showcase. That was just such a treat for the team. As we said, 19 seconds on the game clock. It's a one-possession game, folks. So if you're the Clips, have to make sure that you inbound this basketball. You want to get the ball into your free throw shooters, because you know the Legends team, they're going to foul. So Xavier Moon is somewhere you want to get it. You get the ball into Williams, and that was close for the Clippers, and that's a turnover for the Clippers, and that's what you don't want to have. 14.2 seconds, and that's what pressure does. And now if you're the Clippers, just play solid defense. You don't want to give up a 3. If you give up a 2, then it's tie the ball game. But you don't want to give up a 3. I'd say G-League action is exciting, right? All the way down to the wire. Got another amount called, but this is so exciting. All the way down to the wire. If you want to tell me these players don't want to win this game, I will tell you that incorrect. You can see they absolutely want to play because they want to get to the next level. They want to get to the NBA. So when the coaches go back and they evaluate this film, they're going to look and see who played to the very end. And I can tell you right now, both of these teams are playing to the very end. You can see this is what pressure does. That was almost a turnover there, and then Wallace just turned that over on the play on that situation. One of those situations you just want to slow it down, make sure you give your teammate the best opportunity. So if the Clippers just want to play solid defense, we just do not want to give the Legends a 3. If they give it, you want to stop them from getting a 2 as well, but you absolutely don't want to give them a 3. You almost got to think to yourself, do you just take a foul and make them 2 free throws? And don't even give them an opportunity to shoot a three. You know Coach Hewitt will have his team playing solid defense. This has been a staple of this team all season long. First of all, the Legends got to get the ball in, and now you can see Jackson gets right to the cup. Couldn't get that one to go down. Clippers basketball, that's what you want, and that's a great play right there. Couldn't get it good to go down. I mean, I'll tell you, Jackson was right at the cup, just couldn't get that one to go down. So that's going to be, and you see Wallace is on the ground. Looks like he got it, so that young man is okay. I tell you, just a moment ago, he jumped out of the building with that big slammer-jammer throwdown, and now Diabate will step up. Now, as we mentioned earlier in the game, now we're under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. You'll go back to the traditional 2 free throws for the 2 points. Musa Diabate will step up for the 2 free throws. I'll tell you what a treat he has been this year for your Clippers. Misses the first free throw, so now that opens the possibility. The Clippers up by 2. You get this one. Now you get a chance to go up by 3. It's still only a 1-possession game. And I tell you, with 7 minutes and 3 seconds to go, this game is still far from being decided, folks. Second free throw is good, and now the Legend will have to inbound the basketball. And now with 7 points, you can still go for 2. And now it's a reset timeout. So with that being said, now you move the ball to the other side of the court, and now they can inbound the basketball. So now, as I mentioned, if you're the Clippers, you don't want to give up a 3. If you do, so be it. But like I said, do you just foul? Do you just take the foul? And because you're up by 3, do you just take the foul and make them take 2 free throws? Now you got to make sure you don't get a 5-second call. There it is. And that's exactly what I said. You take the foul, and now, and I'll tell you, Coach Hewitt, he is such a great coach. You take the foul, you make him go up and shoot 2 free throws. So now the best he could do is cut your lead down to 1. With 6.3 seconds, then you can inbound the ball, because now you don't even give them the chance to shoot a 3. Jackson steps up the first free throw. First free throw is good. And what a solid game that young man has had for his squad. That puts him up to 33 points. He's 3 from 3 from the free throw line, so he's absolutely someone that this Legend team wants to have on that free throw line. One more shot worth 1 point action. And that free throw is no good. It's a lane violation against the Legends. So that's Clippers basketball. That is huge, folks. So that free throw, that wipes out that free throw. He missed it, but it wipes out that free throw. And now the Clippers reset. Now the Clippers are up by 2 with 6.3 seconds to go. So now it's so important to make sure you get the ball into one of your free throw shooters. Wallace is 1 for 1. Williams is Diabate is 2 for 5. Xavier Moon hasn't shot a free throw. Fitz hasn't shot a free throw, and Alatishe hasn't shot a free throw either. And now you get the ball into Diabate. And as I said, Diabate is 2 for 5 from the line. So if you're the Legends, that's who you want to get the ball into when you look who's out there. So on the court now you have Wallace, Williams, Diabate, Moon, and Fitz. So it says that Moon and Fitz have not shot free throws in the contest. And Diabate misses the first free throw. So now you want to hit the second free throw and put this back out to a 3-point lead. If you're the Clippers again, do you do the same thing again? Do you just foul them and put them on the free throw line and not allow them to shoot a 3, or do you play it out? We'll see. As Diabate gets the second free throw to go down. Now you're the Clippers, you have to play solid defense. You don't want to allow a 3, and that's a deep 3 right there. Couldn't get that to go down. And you can see Jackson wanted to foul, and there was no foul called. So the final contest for the Clippers in this season, Clippers were able to go ahead and get the win. Unfortunately, as we mentioned, they were eliminated from playoff contention last night when they played the Memphis. But what a night. Great night by Keaton Wallace. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 33 points. Xavier Moon, 8 rebounds, 13 points, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 26 points. He had a double-double, and he was right there working on that triple-double. So close. DeVoe had 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Solid contest from him as well. He had 15 points. And then when you look at the legend, Dawson and Jackson both had 33 points, and then Riller had 27 points as well. Solid contest, great response as your Clippers, and I got to thank you, everybody who tuned in for all tests here from the Toyota Arena. My name is Brian Arrington, and we hope to see you again next year. For my producer, John McKelvey, as I said, I'm Brian Arrington saying so long for the Toyota Arena, and your Ontario Clippers defeated the Texas Legends. Have a good night, all.